Love in the lavender fields. In the heart of Provence, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming lavender, there lay a small village named Valensole. It was a place where time seemed to slow down and where the landscape was painted in shades of purple, gold, and green. The village was nestled amidst endless fields of lavender that stretched as far as the eye could see, creating a patchwork of vibrant hues under the warm Mediterranean sun. Emma Laurent had returned to Valensole after years spent in the bustling city of Paris. She had left the village as a young girl, chasing dreams of becoming an artist in the City of Lights. But the fast-paced city life had left her yearning for the simplicity of home and the solace that only the lavender fields could provide. So she returned, hoping to find herself again among the familiar sights and scents of her childhood. The Laurent family had owned one of the largest lavender farms in the region for generations. The farm was a source of pride for Emma's parents, who had poured their hearts into cultivating the fields that were now in full bloom. Emma had always found inspiration in the beauty of the lavender fields, and now, as an adult, she hoped to capture that beauty on canvas. One warm summer evening, as Emma was setting up her easel at the edge of the fields, she noticed a man standing among the lavender, his back to her. He was tall, with broad shoulders and an air of quiet confidence. The golden light of the setting sun cast a warm glow on his tousled brown hair, and Emma couldn't help but feel a sense of familiarity. Curious, she approached him. "The lavender is breathtaking at this time of day, isn't it?" she said, her voice soft yet carrying the warmth of the evening. The man turned, and Emma's breath caught in her throat. It was Mathieu, her childhood friend and the boy she had once shared her dreams with before leaving for Paris. But this was not the boy she remembered. This was a man with eyes that held a depth of emotion she hadn't seen before. "Emma," Mathieu said, his voice filled with a mix of surprise and joy. "I didn't know you were back." She smiled, her heart racing as she looked into his eyes. "I came back a few weeks ago. I needed a change, something to remind me of who I am." Mathieu nodded, his gaze lingering on her for a moment longer than necessary. "I understand. The city can take a lot out of you. It's good to have you back." They stood in silence for a moment, the only sound being the gentle rustle of the lavender in the breeze. Emma could feel a connection between them, something that had always been there but had grown stronger with time. "How about a walk?" Mathieu suggested, breaking the silence. "There's a spot I want to show you. It's where I go when I need to think." Intrigued, Emma agreed, and they set off through the fields. As they walked, the scent of lavender surrounded them, wrapping them in a fragrant embrace. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the fields and painting the world in shades of purple and gold. When they reached the spot Mathieu had mentioned, Emma gasped. It was a small hill overlooking the entire valley, with a lone oak tree standing proudly at its peak. The view was breathtaking, with the lavender fields stretching out before them like a sea of purple, the village of Valensole nestled cozily in the distance. "This is where I come to clear my mind," Mathieu said, his voice quiet. "It's where I've always felt closest to my roots, to everything that matters." Emma could feel the weight of his words, and she knew that this place held a special significance for him. She sat down on the grass and Mathieu joined her, their shoulders brushing lightly. The connection between them was palpable, a thread that had always existed but was now pulling them closer together. "Why did you come back, Emma?" Mathieu asked, his voice filled with a mixture of curiosity and concern. Emma hesitated, unsure of how to put her feelings into words. "I realized that the city wasn't what I thought it would be," she finally said. "I was searching for something, but I didn't know what. I thought I'd find it in Paris, but all I found was noise and chaos. I missed the simplicity of this place, the beauty of the lavender fields, and I missed you." Mathieu's breath caught, and he turned to look at her, his eyes searching hers for the truth in her words. "I've missed you too, Emma," he confessed. "I've thought about you every day since you left. I always hoped you'd come back, but I didn't want to get my hopes up." Emma reached out and took his hand, her heart pounding in her chest. "I'm here now, Mathieu, and I think I was always meant to come back." The air between them was charged with unspoken emotions, and for a moment, the world around them seemed to fade away. All that mattered was the connection they shared, the history between them, and the possibility of something more. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world into twilight, Mathieu leaned in, closing the distance between them. Their lips met in a soft, tender kiss, one that spoke of all the years they had been apart and the love that had always been there, waiting to be rekindled. The days that followed were like a dream for Emma and Mathieu. They spent every moment they could together, exploring the fields, reminiscing about their childhood, and discovering new depths to their relationship. The love that had always simmered beneath the surface began to blossom, fueled by the beauty of their surroundings and the time they spent together. Emma's paintings flourished as well, her canvases coming alive with the vibrant colours of the lavender fields. She found inspiration in everything: the way the light played on the lavender at different times of day, the way the wind gently swayed the flowers, and most of all, the way Mathieu looked at her, his gaze filled with love and admiration. One afternoon, as they walked through the fields hand in hand, Mathieu suddenly stopped, a serious expression on his face. "Emma, there's something I need to tell you," he said, his voice tinged with hesitation. Emma's heart skipped a beat. "What is it, Mathieu?" He took a deep breath, his gaze never leaving hers. "I've been thinking about the future, about what it means for us now that you're back. I want to be with you, Emma, more than anything. But I need to know if you're staying. I can't go through losing you again." Emma's heart ached at the vulnerability in his voice. She had known this conversation was coming, but she hadn't been sure how to approach it herself. The truth was, she didn't know what the future held. She had come back to Valençola seeking solace, but now she had found something so much more. "I don't want to leave," she said, her voice soft but firm. "But I also don't want to rush things. I've just found my way back here, back to you. Let's take it one step at a time and see where it leads us." Mathieu nodded, a look of relief washing over his face. "That's all I needed to hear, Emma. I just want to know that we have a future, that we're building something together." They stood there in the middle of the lavender fields, the sun shining down on them, as they shared a moment of understanding. They both knew that love wasn't something that could be rushed, but it was something that needed to be nurtured, tended to, like the lavender that surrounded them. As the days turned into weeks, their love deepened. They shared secrets, dreams, and fears, and with each passing day, Emma became more certain that she had made the right choice in returning to Valençola. Her love for Mathieu grew stronger, rooted in the soil of their shared history and nourished by the beauty of their surroundings. But as much as they loved each other, life in the village wasn't without its challenges. The farm was struggling, the lavender fields not yielding as much as they once did. Emma's parents were worried, the weight of the farm's future hanging heavily on their shoulders. Emma and Mathieu knew they couldn't ignore the reality of the situation. They needed to find a way to save the farm, to ensure that the lavender fields that had brought them together would continue to bloom for generations to come. The village of Valençola rallied around the Laurent family, offering support and ideas to help save the farm. Emma and Mathieu threw themselves into the effort, determined to find a solution. They explored new methods of cultivation, researched sustainable farming practices, and reached out to contacts in the city who could help market the farm's products. It was during one of these brainstorming sessions that Emma had an idea. "What if we open the farm to visitors?" she suggested, her eyes lighting up with excitement. "We could offer tours, workshops on lavender cultivation, and sell our products directly to them. People from the city would love to experience the beauty of these fields firsthand." Mathieu's face broke into a smile. "That's brilliant, Emma. We could also host events, like weddings or retreats. The farm could become a destination, a place where people come to find peace and beauty, just like we have. With renewed energy and purpose, they set to work bringing Emma's vision to life. The village pitched in, helping to renovate the old barn into a visitor centre and transforming the fields into a haven for those seeking a connection with nature. As the first guests began to arrive, Emma and Mathieu watched with pride as their hard work paid off. The farm was thriving, and with it, their love continued to grow. The lavender fields, once on the brink of ruin, were now a symbol of hope and renewal. One evening, as the sun set over the fields, casting a golden glow over the sea of lavender, Mathieu took Emma's hand. They stood together, looking out over the landscape that had brought them together and that they had fought so hard to preserve. "Emma," Mathieu said, his voice filled with emotion, "this place, these fields, they're more than just a farm. They're a part of us, of our story, and I want to spend the rest of my life here with you." Emma's heart swelled with love as she looked into Mathieu's eyes. "I want that too, Mathieu. This is where I belong, where we belong, together." As the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Mathieu pulled Emma close, kissing her with all the love and passion that had grown between them. The lavender fields swayed gently in the evening breeze, a reminder of the beauty that could be found in both the land and in the love that had blossomed between them. Their journey had not been easy, but it had been worth every challenge, every hardship. They had found each other again, and in doing so, they had found their place in the world, a place where love and lavender would forever bloom. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and heartfelt content. Stay tuned for more stories that uplift and inspire. Your support helps us continue sharing these meaningful stories. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next story.